Hi, first grade. Today we're going to learn about ancient Greek art. And one of the things that was very popular that the ancient Greeks did was make a type of pottery jars or vases that they called amphora. Amphora is just the word for jars and vases. I have this book here which shows some examples of ancient Greek art. And I'll open my book up here and you'll see a few examples of the amphora. Here's an example of some amphoras. They could be all sizes. Some of them were quite large, very large, because in the days before plastics and refrigeration, you would need to make pottery jars and pots to hold things. Some would be genuinely artworks, some would be things to hold oils or foods or flowers or anything that you might need to hold for containers. And sometimes they would be to ship things in, to store things in. And you could see that they'd have a variety of different decorations on them. This one is clay colored, and then it's got browns and terracottas and blacks. And this is all different bands of designs on them. Here's some other ones here. These are have a black background with orange figures on them. That was a very popular style. And then this one here has got black and white. And black and white was a popular style. Now, one thing that's interesting about this one here as well is some of the patterns on these amphoras, especially these really early ones, have got what we call geometric patterns on them. The early ones have a lot of just typical line patterns where you'll have a zigzag pattern, or you have what they call a Greek key pattern on the design. This one looks like little waves or curls on it. Those are popular. Some here a little bit more sophisticated where you have these leaf designs on them. So this would be the kind of designs that you have on some of the real early ones here. But on the later ones, the ancient Greeks, as we know, loved sports. They were the people that started the Olympics. And you can see that, you know, this one here has got wreaths on it of leaves. And we know for a fact that this was the kind of thing that people who won at the games at the Olympics would wear these leaves. So who knows, maybe this design here is celebrating someone who won in the Olympics. I mean, he is holding a large stick or javelin, and we know the javelin toss was a game, so maybe it has something to do with that. This person here, again, maybe this person won an Olympic game. So some of their themes might have to do with battles, but they might also have to do with sports because they love sports so much. So this is something that you might see on the amphora. In fact, this one here, it looks like two men are wrestling, and of course wrestling is one of the sports. This one here is riding a chariot, like a chariot race. So it's kind of interesting to see how these different things are put together. It wouldn't be, you know, much different than if you had a lunchbox with a thermos that had, you know, a famous sports figure on it, like, you know, Carson Wentz or somebody who, you know, that most people would know because they're popular in sports. So you have the artwork together with things that were happening in daily life, things that most people would know, and scenes that would be very typical and well illustrated. Here's just a little thing that I have here. This is modern. This is painted to look like something from ancient Greece, but you can see it could be any kind of jug or amphora or vase or container, and these were very popular. A lot of their artwork was done with this. So we're going to take these ideas and we're going to work on an ancient Greek amphora out of paper. So you need a white piece of computer paper to do this project. I have my designs and patterns over here. Now, most vases use the idea of symmetry, so they're the same on both sides. So we know from doing other symmetry projects, if you fold a piece of paper in half, you should be able to cut out your vase and then be able to have it nice and even on both sides. So we're gonna take it like this. We're gonna make our vase. I'm gonna come down here, make it fat at the bottom. The stand. And I think I'm gonna put handles on mine. So I'm gonna make it thin through the neck, fat through the belly, and then come down on the base and handles. So I'm gonna make a D and then double it. Okay, I'm gonna cut this out, see what it looks like. Now I want to get inside the handle here, so I'm just going to do a light fold here so I can make a cut and then get my scissors inside. Now when I open this up, you can see I have a really terrific ancient Greek amphora. Okay, now I'm going to put some paper underneath it. When I'm done, I'm going to put it on some orange paper so that you can see it when I'm done decorating. It fits so nicely on my orange paper. But when I'm coloring it, I don't want my marker to leak through, or I don't want to get on my table, so I always put some paper on underneath. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the middle blank, because I think I'm going to have you put a sports theme inside there. You could draw some sort of sporting event. So I'm just going to mark that off then. I'm going to mark the bottom here. I'm going to mark here at the bottom of the handles. I think I'll put a band here. Okay, then this way you can put your own sports theme. Here, I'll do it with the Sharpie marker so you can see. This project looks great if you have a Sharpie marker, but if you don't have a Sharpie marker, it looks just as terrific too with a black crayon, so I'll show you both. So I've put lines here and here. And this part here, I'm not gonna show you to do anything there, because I want you to put a sports picture right in there, some sort of sports scene like the one that we saw. Now, I have all these different ideas of things, of patterns that I can use on this. So I'm just going to give you some examples of some patterns. Feel free to do any number of patterns that you would like to do. If you can't see these as well, or you don't like these, you want some others, you can always look up ancient Greek patterns. Just search it and it comes up. There's lots of different ideas and examples. Most of them are geometric and very simple. So I'm going to go with a simple one, I think right through here first. I love a zigzag. Zigzags are fun. And I think what makes them even more fun is maybe if you do a double zigzag. Okay. One of the most famous patterns is what they call a Greek key. And there's lots of variations on a Greek key pattern. And basically a Greek key pattern is you make a square, and but you keep going inside the square. That's like a Greek key pattern. Okay. This one's a fun pattern too. This one is like a wave pattern. Okay, I'm going to outline my handles because I think people will be able to see them better if I outline them. Okay, you can see how it's coming together. And the more I add up here, the more decorative it is, the more interesting it gets. And a lot of these patterns are just done in lines. So I've done this wave pattern. So now I'm going to do a line or even a double line. And then maybe I'll just do like little squares in that line. Okay, so you can see I can start adding more patterns and more patterns in each of these lines. And I can either just decide I want to do some double lines. If I've got a series of lines, I can always just color in a line, 2 lines together, and that makes like a stripe. And that looks pretty cool together. So you can see in absolutely no time, I have a really cool ancient Greek amphora that I've just made out of a simple white piece of paper that I folded and I cut symmetrically. And then I used black and white, and I used some ideas that I got from some Greek pattern sheets, and I made a really cool art project here. So then what I'll do is I'm going to leave this blank, but you would probably put some really cool scene in there of someone winning some game at the Olympics or in battle or something interesting that the ancient Greeks would like, maybe even a statue or a temple. So there's all kinds of really cool things that you can put in there. So I hope you enjoy your lesson. It was fun to do, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.